What's up with it, man? Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notification bell so that you're able to get each and every one of my videos, okay? Listen, my question is, how come nobody's talking about the Washington Wizards? You know? And I don't understand why the media is not really high on the Washington Wizards right now. I mean, I understand the Warriors, and I understand that people are back to seeing the Warriors, uh, into to a prominent place like they once were, and possibly looking like a championship contender early in the season. But the Washington Wizards have really been nothing less than phenomenal. These guys got a 9-3 record. And, at one point they were, along with Golden State, tied for the best record, in the league. That was earlier in the season. But now, of course, it's the Golden State Warriors. Um, the Washington Wizards, man, with the new addition of course, Kyle Kuzma and Montrezl Harrell, and KCP, and of course Spencer Dinwiddie. You know, Bradley Bill, you look at that picture, man, he do have a lot to smile about. I mean, he's loving it because he's like, okay, well, shoot, I don't have to put up, 30 something points a game and be absolutely killing myself. Now I got guys that can take the weight off of my shoulders. And another thing that I don't think is getting talked about enough is how Wes Unseld Jr. has came in there and brought his philosophy and has pretty much made Mike Malone look like, okay, he was like Wes Unseld Jr. was the one philosophy that they were truly using. That was, I mean, him being in Denver. A lot of people had tried to tell me about Wes Unseld Jr. and everything, and I kind of really didn't pay attention to it. But now I was like, wait a minute, this was the guy. This was probably, the guy that was responsible for a lot of the success that was going on there, because now you're seeing it. Now it's no disrespect to Mike Malone. He's a decent coach and everything, but we gotta scratch our heads and ask ourselves a question, because right now, Denver, Denver's not, um, they're not one of the high teams, you know, in the uh in the East. I mean, they're doing okay, but they're not doing as good as, I mean, they're third, but they're not number one or anything. And the thing about it is that they're tied with the Mavericks, with the Clippers, at 8-4. And I know it's still early in the season. It's still early in the season or whatever. They still got some time. But let's just call it what it is. And see, you can sit up here and say, "Oh yeah, well, the East is this, the East is that," but the one thing that you can't call the East anymore is weak, because they're not. They're not. They're not weak by any means. This is a competitive East, because you got to think about it. You Just as well as you have teams that are at 500, um, that where it used to be in the West, because now in the West you have teams that are below 500 that if the playoffs were to start today, they would automatically, be in there. Well, besides the whole play in and everything, and that of course that involves the Thunder, Grizzlies, and the Trailblazers. You know what I'm saying? They're at 6 and 7, and the Thunder's at 5 and 6. But I'm trying not to think of it as from a play-in standpoint. But it's unfortunate that we still gotta do the play-in. I'm not a fan of the play-in. I just wish it was still the same way. Shoot, if you don't make eight, you you just don't make eight, and that's it. But the Washington Wizards need a lot more credit than what they're getting. Kyle Kuzma, I can't say enough about him. I did post earlier that Kyle Kuzma, he's averaging 15 points even, and more importantly, he's averaging 9.2 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? This guy has really came in. A lot of people, and see, a lot of people said that I was capping. They said that I was capping when I was talking about Kyle Kuzma and what he would be able to do by going to Washington. And look what he's done. Look what he's done. He's not putting. Of course, he's not putting up. He ain't putting up no dub or anything like that. But that's not what I needed. You got two. You got two primary scorers on there, in Spencer Dinwiddie and of course Bradley Beal on there that can get you buckets. You know, and Spencer Dinwiddie, hey, he surprised the shit out of me. I didn't think that Spencer Dinwiddie was gonna come in there after the knee after the knee problem and be doing what he was doing. It's like he picked up where he left off when he was in Brooklyn. And I think that now Brooklyn, they they miss a guy like a Spencer Dinwiddie. It makes you appreciate a guy like that. Then of course KCP and Montrezl Harrell. Harrell, came out there. He's found his home, and they all look happy. And KCP, listen, I always like KCP. Always like him. You know what I'm saying? What he brings on defense, his offense too as well. Hey, you guys, sorry about that. Um, I think that KCP should get a lot more credit too. But everybody was talking trash about him. Everybody was saying, "Oh yeah, KCP ain't this, he ain't that." Look what they doing out there, and that goes with the saying that another person's trash is another person's treasure. Well, they call Kyle Kuzma trash. They call KCP trash, and they was talking a lot of shit about Montrezl Harrell. And while everybody's talking about, oh yeah, are are certain teams like Chicago or even Charlotte earlier in the year, which I mentioned too as well, are they contenders? You need to be talking about this team if they're a contender, but everybody wants to continue to go to sleep on them. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that the Washington Wizards are going to make a push. Now, like I said, it is earlier in the season, but look, congratulations to them on their success so far. I know the fans are excited to come out there because of the success and everything. I'm giving them their just due, but we'll have to see. What happens. We still got a whole lot of basketball to be played. So, y'all tell me what you think. Do you think that the Wizards are going to continue at the pace that they are, or do you think that they'll eventually slow down and drop though? But like this video, share it, subscribe, hit them notifications too. Till then, man, it's Polo Sports Talking Entertainment, man. I will get at y'all in a little bit.